Linda Syddick Napaltjarri. Linda Yunkata Syddick Napaltjarri, born c. 1937, is a Pintupi and Pitjantjatjara speaking Indigenous artist from Australia's Western Desert region. Her father was killed when she was young. Her mother later married Shorty Lungkarta Tjungarrayi, an artist whose work was a significant influence on Linda Syddick's painting. Linda Syddick was one of many Western Desert women who took up painting in the early 1990s as part of a broader contemporary Indigenous Australian art movement. She began painting sometime prior to 1991, when her work was first exhibited in Alice Springs. Her work includes a distinctive fusion of Christian and Aboriginal traditional themes and motifs. She has been a finalist in the National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Art Awards on at least 4 occasions, and in the Blake Prize, a religious art competition, at least 3 times. Her works are held by numerous galleries, including the National Gallery of Australia, the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and the Art Gallery of South Australia. Linda Syddick was the subject of a portrait painted by Robert Hannaford, which was a 1992 finalist in Australia's premier portrait competition, the Archibald Prize. Life. Sources differ on the year of Linda Syddick's birth. The Art Gallery of South Australia suggests 1941, Bernberg and Kreksminski's biographical survey suggests circa 1937. The ambiguity around the year of birth is in part because Indigenous Australians operate using a different conception of time, often estimating dates through comparisons with the occurrence of other events. She was born near Western Australia's Wilkingkara, or Lake Mackay, northeast of Kiwirrkurra Community, Western Australia, and northwest of Kinter, Northern Territory. Napaltjarri in Warlpiri, or Napaltjarri in Western Desert dialects, is a skin name, one of 16 used to denote the subsections or subgroups in the kinship system of Central Australian Indigenous people. These names define kinship relationships that influence preferred marriage partners and may be associated with particular totems. Although they may be used as terms of address, they are not surnames in the sense used by Europeans. Thus, Linda Syddick is the element of the artist's name that is specifically hers. Linda has also been referred to as Tjungarrayi Napaltjarri, however she is not the artist Tjungarrayi Napaltjarri. Linda Syddick's parents were Wanala or Napulu Nangala and Rincha Tjungarrayi. However, Rincha or Riincha was killed in a revenge attack when Linda was still very small, and in 1943 her mother moved to Kinter. Linda's stepfather, Shorty Lungkarta Tjungarrayi, was a significant influence on her early painting. Short Lungkarta was also the father of artist Winjia Morgan Napaltjarri, known as Winjia No. 2 and no relation to yet another artist, Winjia Napaltjarri. Linda married Musty Syddick, had 2 children, Ruby and Irene, and in the 1970s they were living in a Northern Territory Pintupi community called Yay. After Musty's death she remarried. Linda Syddick has also achieved recognition as a painter's model. She was the subject of Robert Hannaford's painting that was a finalist in the 2002 Archibald Prize, Australia's premier portrait prize. Art. Background. Contemporary Indigenous art of the Western Desert began when Indigenous men at Papinia began painting in 1971, assisted by teacher Jeffrey Barden. This initiative, which used acrylic paints to create designs representing body painting and ground sculptures, rapidly spread across Indigenous communities of Central Australia, particularly following the commencement of a government-sanctioned art program in Central Australia in 1983. By the 1980s and 1990s, such work was being exhibited internationally. The first artists, including all of the founders of the Papinia Chola Artists Company, had been men, and there was resistance amongst the Pintupi men of Central Australia towards women painting. However, there was also a desire amongst many of the women to participate, and in the 1990s a large number of them began to create paintings. In the Western Desert communities such as Kinter, Uwinjumu Balgo, and on the outstations, people were beginning to create artworks expressly for exhibition and sale. Career. Linda Syddick was painting by 1991 when her works were hung in a private gallery Gallery Gondwana in Alice Springs. Her works, such as A Nest of Crosses, Gladly Born painted for an exhibition titled Mary Mackallop, a tribute, combine traditional Indigenous painting techniques and motifs with Christian imagery and themes. Linda Syddick had two paintings included in an exhibition, From Appreciation to Appropriation, at the Flinders University Art Museum City Gallery in 2000. One Eucharist again looked at Christian influences in Indigenous culture. The other dealt with Hollywood influences and was titled E.T. The Bicycle Ride. Linda's interest in Christian iconography is reflected in the inclusion of her work The Eucharist in another Flinders University Art Museum exhibition, Holy, Holy, Holy in 2004, which examined the advent of Christianity in Australia. Other works represent her traditional country, such as her painting Tingari Men at Wilkinkara Lake Meke, which was a finalist at the 2009 National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Art Awards. Artists of the Western Desert region, such as Linda Syddick, frequently portray figures from the Tingari cycle of songlines, particularly the Tingari men. These are ancestral elders who in the dreaming traveled over vast areas performing rituals and creating the country. In 1990, Linda Syddick went to Sydney to see her work in G-Cart Dreaming hung in the Blake Prize exhibition, one of three occasions prior to 1994 on which she was a Blake finalist. The Adelaide Biennial of Australian Art included one of her paintings in 1998. She has been represented on several occasions in the National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Art Awards in 1995, 2006 with her painting The Witch Doctor and The Windmill, 2008 with Big Rain at Wellukurich, and 2009 with Tingari Men at Wilkinkara Lake Meke. Linda's works are held in several major public collections, including the National Gallery of Australia, the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and the Art Gallery of South Australia. Collections: Art Gallery of New South Wales, Art Gallery of South Australia, Art Bank, Auckland City Art Gallery, Museum and Art Gallery of the Northern Territory, National Gallery of Australia, Kluge Ruhe Aboriginal Art Collection of the University of Virginia. Awards: 2009 finalist, 26th National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Art Award, Art Award, Award. 2008 finalist, 25th National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Art Award, 2006 finalist, 23rd National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Art Award, 1995 finalist, 12th National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Art Award,